Welcome back to Teach a Man to Fish channel. So it's been about a year and a half since we did a bee update. Life gets in the way, but I'll tell you, we've got a lot of exciting things to talk about, the things that I've learned, the expansion that we've done, really learned some lessons on top bar hives. Let's go ahead and get started. Well, I don't want you to think I'm trying to be cool with these sunglasses. One of the lessons that I learned is when they sting me, I have a horrible reaction if they catch me in the eye or around the eye. So I'm very sensitive about having something to protect my eyes when I'm over here near the hives. They can get a little testy. I haven't learned at all yet what makes them testy versus other times. So I'm just cautious all the time. I'll tell you this, we've continued to build on our skills on how to make these top bar hives, and even took it one step further. I hadn't seen anybody doing splits and nukes inside a much smaller top bar hive. We did do 3 splits last year, and in those small nuke boxes, we did get some overwintering. They made it through the winter, and then we transitioned those over into full hives. So for this is one of the first hives. If you've been watching from the beginning, you know we started with 2 hives. You can go back and look at the videos. I won't bore you too much with the details, but quick summary, we started with 2 hives from the state. They were freebies, part of a grant program. We went out and swarm trap 2 swarms. That was our start. We're now up to 8 hives, and we've started building our own top bars, fleshing them out with the guts inside, and we're up to 8 hives. And wait until you see, I haven't seen anybody doing a nuke process. We overwintered 3 nukes in top bar hives this year, and this spring transferred them over. So we're gonna talk more about that. No reason to not expect to get another 4 this year. So we're starting to get pretty large considering what we started with 2 state grant boxes. And now we have a full apiary and kind of reaching the point where I'm not sure how much bigger I want to get. So the metal sheeting that we use on the roof does a great job, and the painting that we do with just a Wagner spray painter seems to be holding these boxes together very well. They're weathering fine. This is the final design that we ended up with these independent legs, so it's working pretty nice. What you see here is we're actually transitioning from that overwintered nuke box into the full-size hive that we built this year. We made the colors as well as that symbol in order to differentiate how the hive looks to the bees. We put the same symbol and the same colors on the hive box that they're transitioning to in order to help them orient and understand where they're going and help to prevent some of the drift that may occur between hives as bees could get confused. This is a constant risk with the top bar hives, and it's losing a bar. There you can see I was shaking the bees in and the bar fell. It happens with top bars, and you just have to learn to react to it. How you react to it is what matters. Making some of these bars that you can use special, having them on hand to where you can set up your wire and reattach your comb to the top bar, and you can throw it back in the hive. The bees will fix it, reattach everything, and make it right. I'm hard pressed to believe this is working. I posted a picture of this. I've never seen a swarm on the ground, never seen a picture of it. And this swarm is sitting here on the ground. My son was mowing the lawn over there, and he said, "Dad, there's a group of bees on the ground." And I posted a picture of it online, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, they swarm, they'll be on the ground. Give them a ramp and a hive to climb up into, and they will." This is crazy. So this pack of bees ended up packing up and leaving from this little nuke box that we have anyhow. If you know exactly what was going on, I'd love to see the comments on what this actually was.
This is probably about where we harvest. You can see that's the only part that's capped, the rest is open.
Do they take from?
Yeah, when the flow isn't flowing properly, they'll come in and eat their honey. That's what it's there for. It's for them to eat, not for us to eat.
I thought they took the caps and like shrink them down to make the caps. Not the.
No, they shrink the honey down and then put the caps on, and they continue to shrink.
Yeah.
So we've got all nectar through here, and very mature capped honey through there, and capped, but you can see it's not quite as dried out as this. And again, looking for pests and looking for the queen, which she should still always be up in this area laying her eggs and doing her thing. All right, now it's a little further down. If we were in a rush, we could harvest that and just cut away the tip there. But the next one, either within the next two, I think we should have harvest. You see how thick that is? That's actually pushing into the cone next to it. Oh, smoke it. Feeling nice and heavy. Yep, that's the harvest. Don't have the smoke on it.
I'm waiting for one of them to clip my ear.
First, we're going to cut away some of this immature honey that's down here on the bottom, and it's a little higher on this side than this side, so my cut is going to be at an angle like that. And really, there's not very much immature honey on this comb. And you can put some immature honey into your finished honey. You just have to be careful with how much. There's a percentage, I don't know what it is, but I know I restrict way below that. All right, and this is so satisfying. And now we will go put this back into the hive, and they will fix it. A little bit of nectar there on the bottom, we'll cut that out, and that's all honey. Probably about 6 pounds of honey, I'd say, on that. Cut away the immature. Gentle, not to put too much pressure and force on it, that it ends up breaking up here.
Let me hold it.
No, that's all right. I think. Famous last words. All right, that's the immature. Again, a top bar, you can do all the inline plane movements you want within reason. You just have to be careful about offsetting, twisting sideways, and then otherwise that will fall. Actually, I'm going to do it in 2 stages. Look at the color on that. That is fantastic. It's like a medium grade, not quite golden and not brown either. It's awesome. This is gonna be good honey. So what we're also doing is we're giving these bees room to expand. This hive is one of my smaller hives that was given to me by the state, and it's kind of a swarm generator if I don't stay on top of it and cycle out and give them room to grow. Otherwise, they get too full and they swarm. This one might be a harvestable, but pretty soon here we're gonna start getting into brood again. This will be straight up bonus if this is all honey. Oh, beautiful. Not a speck of brood. Look at the little pass-through they made there.
Oh. That's cool. I love that.
This is one hive too. All right, so we're done in this hive. We got 3 bars out of it. Let's go ahead and get out of this one and seal it back up.
Something else that we learned to do is to load whole comb cassettes. There are people out there that like to have the honey directly in the comb. They spread it on toast. They like to even eat the comb. They say it's good for digestion. So for those people, we purchase these cassettes and we give them in this format. This is a family affair. My mother came in to do some of the honeycomb filtering, squishing process.
Okay, gonna get it all.
This is one of the advantages of a top bar is you don't have any complex spinners or additional money invested in the getting the honey out. It's just a mechanical filter process. There is something else that we had to learn to deal with top bars, and that's cross combing, where the comb gets a little awry. They don't quite follow the guides that you've set up for them, and they cross the comb across several of them. You end up just treating that as a unit, pulling it all out together.
It wasn't curved like this across the combs. It could go into a cassette, but as it is, we're just going to crush it up and make it just regular honey.
So we learned that this occurs when you give them too much room to move and you don't checkerboard next to straight comb next to them. Kind of gives them guardrails to stay within. Once you've filtered all that honey out of the wax, that's what you're left with, is a pile of wax, and that gets used as well. Nothing goes to waste in this process. We took our wax processing to the next level over the last year. We have done it in a solar melter and just found it easier to just put it into a warm oven, give it the time to filter through some paper towels, and what you're left with is wax that is just as pure, crystal clear. It even has a little bit of that hive smell to it. It's a high quality stuff, and we learned how to make things like lip balm, scented beard balm, and even cutting board wax used to preserve your cutting boards, and also made these pucks For whatever we decide to use in the future, we can put it in storage. You'll also get really good at building these hives. It's not complicated. The way these hives are designed is to do them with minimal amount of tools in third world countries, and you're not limited by having to go out and purchase complicated pieces of equipment. It's all on you where you want to go with this and how far you want to take it. Something else that we learned while we were out there in the hives, we're not the only ones out there with the bees. Check out this black widow. That was a close call. Hoo hoo hoo. Aren't you pretty? This hive that we're getting ready to go into here is the first hive that I've ever lost. And when I say lost, it wasn't a die out. They absconded. They packed up their bags. I can see where they ate up all the honey, and for whatever reason, they decided they weren't liking this anymore. Could have been any one of a 1,000 reasons, mites. And if you see evidence of why it happened in this hive, please make comments, because again, I'm still learning. But let's go in here because I'm actually reusing these fleshed out bars. I don't really see anything that's saying that this is not healthy. Cockroaches in there now. But if you look closely at this, you'll see, you can tell that they've eaten away the caps and then taken the honey and left. So that's my evidence of it wasn't an unhealthy hive when they left. They just chose not to live here anymore and left. One of the ladies stopping in to say hello there. But we're reusing these in the other hives to checkerboard in, and then those hives don't have to spend their resources making new comb. So quick view of the propolis here, that is the glue that the bees use in order to seal up the hives, and where the top bar attaches to the side here, that's where they're sealing up with the propolis that they make. So here's another little interesting thing to show, where you can see this comb has all these jagged edges, and if you look in the bottom of the hive, that's how I know they left. Or it was robbed, I guess, potentially. But there's all of that cappings that's left on the bottom is from where they chewed off, packed their bags, loaded up with honey, and left. So you always want to have a reason to be going into the hives. And what that does is it keeps you on track and get in, get out. And my reason for going in today is to check on the swarm health, look at the health of this hive, and then checkerboard in or put some more empty comb in there in the brood nest, in order for that queen to think, okay, I have more room, more work to do, and hopefully keep that hive mind from wanting to swarm. That's the intent today. Expand the hive. The brood nest should be somewhere right around in here, and just keep pushing that hive to larger and larger. I'm not a real good swarm preventer, so top bar hives, if you can comment down below on tips for preventing swarms, because I need it. I'm kind of a swarm generator, actually. Considering this was a nuke 2 months ago, this is a really healthy looking hive. Lots of new comb developing here. And here we are, we're already into some brood. I'm looking for the queen and Drone City. We'll separate this one apart so you can see it. This is where I'm going to wind up putting some empty comb in order to keep that queen or the hive mind to think about how much room they have left to go. Look at all that drone. Drone brood is the puffier cells right there. Over in here, those are just capped brood worker bees. And as many of you probably know, drones do nothing for the hive. They're just there for the queen. They're kind of like teenagers. They just hang out and eat. We've already got some honey forming in here. Capped honey, which is pretty nice. Some pollen. Now, I believe a week ago I did checkerboard in an empty spot into this. I'll get a little testy here. I'd like to find where I checkerboarded in and see what the status. Put that empty comb in, and I think it's right here. Yeah, it sure is. They have already built a whole new comb here. Haven't started filling it in, but this is what I want to see. I want to see this hive active and responding and growing and not building swarm cells or evidence that they're trying to requeen. As healthy as this is looking, I think I can push them. Yeah, look at all that. Little spotty brood. This queen is a little bit disorganized. And when I say spotty, you can see gaps and holes. She's laying all over the place and oh no, there's pollen. It's a little bit of a disorganized hive. I'm fine with it. I can show you here, these are queen cups from that other hive. That's the differing cups that the bees lay the queen, feed them different, and they'll generate a queen from that. If it's on the bottom of the comb, that tells you that they're trying to swarm. If it's up here in the middle, that tells you that they're trying to supersede or replace a queen. So it's one of the things that you read for. So since we're putting this in here, I'm not going to put, and I save all my wax. We're going to talk right now about what I'm doing with the wax at this point, but I save all the wax that I get out of the hive because I make things out of it. So YouTube says that this video is perfect for your viewing habits. This is my latest upload, and over here is our full bee playlist. I hope you liked it. If you did, please click like, subscribe, share, and come on back for more.